Haugesund, Norway.
Hey, World Cruisers, it's Wednesday, August 14th, 2024, and we're in the port of Haugesund, Norway, which is on the west coast of Norway, heading up the north side of the west coast. And this port is not a huge tourist port, but it does have some interesting things in it that we're going to see today, one of which is a really interesting glass blowing factory and a huge offshore oil production platform uh, company that's headquartered here. So the port is located on an island called Rissoy Island, separated from the rest of the mainland by this bridge that we're walking on here. And you're going to look back in a minute and you're going to see Serenade of the Seas at the port, and you're going to see the huge yellow North Shore oil production platform that looms above everything. It's that blue building that you see next to it is called the North Sea Hall, and it was built specially to be able to fabricate components and modules for offshore oil production platforms. The building was dedicated back in the 70s, and they've gradually grown into being able to produce those gigantic submersible platforms like the one you see in yellow. Towards the end of the video here, I'll have a close up of what that platform looks like, and it's really a monument to human engineering and manufacturing and design. It's an amazing thing. So that bridge you see there was built in 1939 before the war. Norway was occupied by the Nazis for 5 years from 1940 until the end of the war. So this is the old sailor's home in Haugesund, and that's significant for a reason, as you're going to see in a minute. This is right down on the water. So Haugesund used to be the herring capital of Norway, producing herring of all varieties. So here's the statue of Marilyn Monroe right behind the old sailor's home. And it looks like they caught her on a day when she was in a wet t-shirt contest or something. But anyway, it was thought for a while that Marilyn Monroe's father was from this town. And so when that happened, they built this bronze statue of Marilyn Monroe. As it turned out, the story was false, but they left the statue, which is right behind the old sailor's home, so it works well. This is the city hall, and coming up right next to it is the concert hall for this town of Haugesund. And it's not the most interesting thing in the world, but here we are at the Formbar glass blowing factory, and I'll let the sound go from the experience we had there with him showing us how to produce a glass vase.
It smells like something's burning. Good sign. Oh. Hey. Is it okay to watch? What are you making? A bowl.
Can I video you?
Is it okay? Okay.
This is the most fascinating art I've ever seen. The most fascinating.
Ooh, yeah. Fascinating.
I've seen videos of it. It's incredible.
Have you seen the Blown Away series on Netflix?
I've heard, no, I gotta go look at it.
It's really fun. Yeah, check it out.
Can we learn how to make something?
Well, today we're
In a production?
making this production.
okay.
We don't really do walk-ins for...
Okay. All right. Oh, look, it's flattening it out. So do you guys do production runs for shops, or you just do special artwork, or what?
This is a special order from a company that ordered these boxes. So this looks like the mold. The mold. That's the mold, yeah.
Look at that. Wow.
So this product has almost the same amount of work for later. So we cut off the top and we grind it like that one.
I see.
Because it's so angled, you can't really make it freehand, and you need a mold to get all the edges. Because glass marble likes to be round.
So how long have you been doing this?
I started glass blowing school 17 years ago,
Wow.
and we've had this place for 7 years.
Work is absolutely
So how long do you have to leave it in the tempering oven? Overnight.
Yeah.
Dang. And what temperature is the oven at there? 500 degrees. And that relieves the stress.
Keep it all at 500, and when you finish the day, we shut it off and then slowly.
Slow it down. Yeah.
That's very interesting how they make glass. I'm fascinated by it. So this is the church in the geographic center of town, and I know you've seen a lot of churches. Nobody's more tired of going in churches than I am, but I had to show you this one thing that's inside this church. So this is, partially up the coast of Norway, so it's cold in the winter. And under each of these benches is a steam heating coil. So if you want people to come to church in a cold country, you put a steam heat coil under their pew at church, and they'll come there. You could see the radiator fins off of the steam pipe. So thought it was interesting. How to encourage attendance in cold Norway. This is the sailor statue that's there in the middle of town, and it's interesting because the guy is pointing to the statue of Marilyn Monroe behind the old sailor's home. He's probably telling his buddy, "Hey, have you seen that new statue?" Anyway, as I mentioned earlier, Haugesund was the herring capital of Norway for a while, but they no longer produce herring out of this location. And it's a small enough city, you could walk the whole thing in just a couple of hours. So we walked the main street. We stopped at a small restaurant. It was a bakery. Had something to eat, something to drink, and then walked down to the city park. I didn't have a chance to look up what happened to this city during World War II, but I know that a lot of the construction that went on was not destroyed by the Nazis. So here's some interesting architecture. That red building on the left, and then walk down to the city park. These roses were beautiful, and it started to rain, so at this point we headed back to the ship. But I wanted to show you that offshore production platform. It is a monster. So what they do is tow it out to where it's going to go, and then they fill those legs up with water and then tether it to the seafloor. So this one, I believe, is a floating platform, but it's probably a few $1 billion worth of construction, but it towers above everything. It's really amazing. It looks like it's about done. So it's a monument to human engineering, design, fabrication, and construction. And this is the North Sea Hall I mentioned earlier. This was dedicated by the country of Norway back in the 70s to allow them to fabricate. We'll see you in Olden, Norway tomorrow.